Welcome. I'm Asif Chishti, a Teaching Standards Education Officer at the General Teaching Council for Scotland. In this video, I'd like to share data from our equality survey of provisionally registered teachers, which we conducted between November 2023 and January 2024. In this anonymous survey, we asked teachers about certain equality characteristics, such as age, ethnicity, and religion, and about their personal experiences as provisionally registered teachers. I'd like to share some of the findings with you in the video, and you can find the full survey results in our registration snapshot report, which is on our website, and you can find a link in this video's description. This is one of a series of 3 Our Data in Focus videos, in which we'll share insights from the data that GTC Scotland holds as part of our work as the independent regulator for teachers. At GTC Scotland, we work in the public interest to enhance trust in teachers by setting, upholding, and promoting high standards. Gathering and analysing our data helps us to assess patterns in the teaching profession and learn more about the career-long teacher experience. It also helps us with our statutory duty to make recommendations to Scottish ministers about matters relating to teachers' education, training, career development, fitness to teach, and on the supply of teachers, apart from matters relating to remuneration and conditions of service. What we learn from our work allows us to influence. We share intelligence from our activities and from our work with partners to support strategic decision making and to speak up for high standards in our vision of trusted teaching. We have shared the results of this survey with Scottish Government's Strategic Board for Teacher Education, with teacher employers, and with the Anti-Racism in Education programme. Our schools and learning communities are enriched with a diverse mix of people with different backgrounds, different cultures and experiences. We are grateful to all of those who responded to the survey for their valuable contribution. Other than sex and date of birth, we don't routinely collect equality data from our registrants or hold that against their individual registration information. Because we think it's important to consider how we welcome new teachers to the profession, we want to understand the demographic of teachers who are joining, about who they are and what their needs might be. So we took a first and significant step in extending the range of information we gather by issuing an anonymous survey. Participation in the survey and response to the individual questions within it was voluntary. We used insights from other regulatory bodies, government guidance on gathering equality information, and Scotland's national census issued in 2022 to inform the questions we asked and how we analysed the responses. In fact, most of the questions in the survey used the same wording as the national census. Other questions we designed to capture information about the experiences of provisionally registered teachers. We take trust and privacy very seriously. Above and beyond making the survey voluntary and anonymous, we are taking extra steps in building trust with respondents. So, when we reference survey findings both here and in the full report, we are doing this always based on top-line data rather than individual responses, and we use percentages and data suppression to ensure that no individuals can be identified. Our survey shows a snapshot of the register which is international and diverse across a number of equality characteristics. This survey was designed specifically for provisionally registered teachers, sometimes referred to as probationers. A provisionally registered teacher is someone who has a teaching qualification and has achieved the standard for provisional registration. At that point, they have 2 paths towards achieving the standard for full registration and becoming a fully registered teacher. If they are eligible for it, they may join the Teacher Induction Scheme, otherwise known as TIS, a Scottish Government scheme guaranteeing a 1-year induction placement in a local authority. GTC Scotland is contracted by Scottish Government to administer some aspects of TIS. The flexible route offers the benefit of being able to work part-time and to look for vacancies within councils and independent schools close to where the teacher lives. On the flexible route, teachers are responsible for finding their own employment. Both paths lead towards full registration as a teacher. We also have 3 other aspirational standards and encourage teachers to use these to support their professionalism and to enhance it. They are the standard for career-long professional learning, the standard for middle leadership, and the standard for headship. We had 1,871 responses. There was a much higher response among registrants on the Teacher Induction Scheme as compared to on the flexible route. It's important to keep that caveat in mind when making comparisons between those two groups. Overall, 53%, so just over half of our beginning teachers, responded to our survey. That's a healthy response rate. We had some targeted questions for those registrants who are on the flexible route, and we asked them what their reasons are for participating on the flexible route. The majority said that it's because they are not eligible for the Teacher Induction Scheme. There are criteria in place based on nationality, resident status, and where someone studied for their teaching qualification, which determine eligibility. The most common reason for electing the flexible route was having a caring responsibility, and we should note here that currently TIS placements are available only on a full-time basis. Some told us that they had either qualified or live or work outside Scotland, and that could mean that they would be ineligible for TIS anyway. Others had started on TIS but switched because they had a bad experience in their school or their local authority. Some were fortunate that they had been offered a temporary contract by a specific school where they wanted to work, and a number switched because they had moved house during the induction year. Personal circumstances, being able to choose a preferred location, completing an extension on the induction year, and health factors were among the other reasons that respondents shared with us. We also asked registrants on the flexible route whether they were in work. 29% said they were not working but were looking for a post, and 2/3 told us that they were in employment. Let's turn now to the equality profile of all the people who completed our survey. Perhaps unsurprisingly, we found that the snapshot of provisionally registered teachers was predominantly female, and that aligns extremely closely with the data that we've got for the whole register. We also gave respondents the opportunity to self-describe their gender or gender reassignment, and a number of them did that too. From respondents who told us about their sexual orientation, we saw that the majority of teachers said they are straight or heterosexual, with approximately 7% saying they are bisexual and approximately 5% describing as gay or lesbian. And again, registrants were able to enter another self-described option for their sexual orientation. Provisional registrants had the option of telling us which specific religion or religious denomination they belong to, if any. The majority of respondents said none, and that aligns broadly with what was found for the whole population in the Scottish Census of 2022. We have a tradition of denominational schools in Scotland, so this may be of particular interest if you are involved in that sector. There were some interesting things to note regarding the age profile of respondents. I think it's important here to restate that this was a survey of provisionally registered teachers those who are entering the profession. When we look at respondents on the teacher induction scheme, we find that the vast majority are under 35, with under 25s the biggest age bracket. However, when we look at those respondents who are on the flexible route, the age profile looks very different, with respondents generally older. 6.7% of all respondents told us they are of an ethnicity which is classed as part of the minority ethnic group. We used the same groupings here as are used in the teacher census, but it's worth noting that the figure here is significantly higher than the equivalent figure in the teacher census. And there are a number of reasons why this figure, which is based on self-declarations from this cross-section of the register, might be different to what is found in the teacher census, which is measuring something different, i.e. information from teachers in local authority schools who are in employment on the second Wednesday of September every year. This is a valuable insight when we consider our national goal of a more ethnically diverse teaching profession. When we inquired about the nationality of respondents, we found a really wide range of nations represented, from Australia to Zimbabwe. Of course, the vast majority of respondents are from the United Kingdom, and our near neighbours Ireland are strongly represented too. But really, what we found was that our register is a very international one. We asked whether our registrants have a disability or health condition which is expected to last a year or longer, and a significant percentage, 28.4%, answered yes to this question. Respondents told us about a broad spectrum of disabilities and illnesses, some which might be considered visible, others not. Among the most commonly reported were mental health conditions, long-term conditions, and a learning difficulty. Here is another equality characteristic which is not protected under the Equality Act, but which we believe is very significant. Around a quarter of provisionally registered teachers reported having a caring responsibility for a child or for another adult. And this figure is higher among respondents who are over 35 or from a minority ethnic background, and among those who are on the flexible route. And it's interesting to consider this in conjunction with the age profile of respondents, where overall what we found in this snapshot of beginning teachers was that the majority were under 35. So we can surmise that this figure will increase as registrants progress through their career and indeed get older. And this is giving us an insight into the other commitments outside teaching which our new registrants have. There is a concerning statistic here for us all to take a moment to pause and think about. Just over 1 in 10 provisionally registered teachers told us that they had experienced bullying, harassment, racism, or discrimination in their work, which may have been through interaction with learners, colleagues, or other community members. Respondents on the flexible route and those with certain other equality characteristics, for example, minority ethnic teachers, those who belong to religions other than Christianity, and respondents who said that they were gay, lesbian, bisexual, or another sexual orientation, were much more likely to report this. The Code of Professionalism and Conduct sets out the key principles and values for registered teachers in Scotland, and is designed to support teachers in understanding how to behave professionally and ethically, including working collegiately as part of an inclusive profession. All teachers have a responsibility to promote equality and diversity and express this through their actions. Provisionally registered teachers should expect to be treated fairly and with respect, without discrimination, whatever their background, personal circumstances, cultural differences, values, or beliefs. We asked respondents to choose 3 words to describe their experience as provisionally registered teachers. We acknowledged that their experience also depends on a number of external factors, including perceptions about their role. For example, some employers and colleagues expect provisionally registered teachers to be classroom ready and allocate individuals to vacancies, when in fact, together with initial teacher education, induction is part of the teacher preparation process. That can have an impact on the experience of individuals in what should be a supported introduction to the teaching profession. The words selected by those on TIS were by and large more positive than those used by registrants on the flexible route, where the reported experience appears less positive. The types of words used across a number of equality characteristics was pretty consistent with the overall picture. Beginning teachers reported an overall positive experience, with the words rewarding, challenging, and exciting the most frequently used. Thanks for watching this video, and you can find the full survey results in our registration snapshot report. That's on our website, and there's a link in this video's description too. And I really encourage you to watch the other 2 videos in our Data in Focus series. In one of those, we are sharing insights from the data from the Register of Teachers, and in the other, we discuss the findings of a survey of those who have chosen to leave the register. And again, you can find the links for those videos in this video's description. Bye bye for now.